Hello, welcome again. In previous videos we discussed how ERP implementation projects involve a two-way convergence between the current practice as is and the business process design implicit in the initial off-the-shelf acquired standard ERP package. This convergence must lead to an agreed-upon to-be business process design, implemented in both the ERP and the day-to-day operational reality. Since we have already analyzed the rationale for adapting the current practice through a business process reengineering, we shall now move on to discuss the other side of the coin, the adaptation of the business process design implicit in a management information system. Here, we shall focus squarely on the discussion of the adaptation of the implicit business process design. That is, the way in which the work will be conducted. Obviously, when a management information system is first implemented, various other setup activities must be carried out that we will not address here, such as loading reference data, data such as the company's name, the various factories and premises it operates, its departments, the list of cost centers or profit centers are examples of the reference structure-related data that must be initially loaded. Also, technical setup of the system, including establishing the hardware and communications platform, the client server structure, the configuration of the database, and so on. Back to the business process convergence, the first step is obviously to reduce as much as possible the adaptation required by choosing an ERP package whose implicit business process design is as similar to the desired to-be state as possible. Thus, a critical stage in the ERP implementation project is the selection of the appropriate ERP package. A number of factors must be taken into account in this selection, including pricing, prestige, scalability, support capabilities, and so on. However, a key criterion must be that the ERP's functionality is capable of supporting the desired to-be business process design as much as possible. This analysis is more complex than it initially seems, often required an iterative approach rather than a simple linear one. It is not straightforward to determine beforehand, that is, before choosing the ERP, the desired to-be business process design. It might be influenced, as discussed, by new options being enabled by the ERP implementation and also by the opportunity to capitalize on the best practices implicit in its design. Furthermore, understanding what a given ERP can and cannot support is complicated by the substantial parameterization capabilities offered by the major ERPs, as we shall explain now. Once an ERP package has been selected, the company can start the process of tailoring or customizing it to its specific needs. That is, to bring it closer to the desired to-be business process design. Fortunately, the major ERPs are highly parameterized. This means that they have invested heavily in built-in flexibility. Rather than rigidly predefining how the work will be carried out, the software is capable of supporting multiple alternative ways of doing it. The user company can choose, within this built-in flexibility, the alternative it prefers for each task or process, by simply assigning the appropriate values to the so-called parameters, while configuring the ERP, without any coding. Thus, for each process, sub-process, and task, whenever the generally accepted best practices indicate that several approaches are potentially valid, the software will be designed to support them all. This inherent flexibility applies at all levels. At a very detailed level, the specific fields included in each business document, such as invoices or purchasing orders, and the options and layout of the management information systems menus, as seen by its users, can be specified by choosing the right parameters. At a higher level, the way specific tasks are accomplished can often be chosen from among a number of alternatives, such as the approach used for depreciating assets, valuing inventories, or arranging stock in a warehouse. Higher up, the sequence of tasks within a business process, the required precedences and approval levels, the roles involved, and so on, can all be particularized through parameters. The level of parameterization or built-in flexibility is therefore a clear indication of the sophistication of an ERP and is normally reflected in its complexity and price tag. It allows the user company at configuration time to assemble at will the building blocks provided by the ERP to construct in a Lego-like fashion the process design it wants. The degree of parameterization, however, has reached such heights, since major ERPs involve literally thousands of parameters, that it has become a mixed blessing. Straightforward as it might seem, the sheer number of parameters to be set, their complexity, interdependence, and the flexibility they confer has made the parameterization stage a critical, lengthy, and expensive one. Most companies rely for this phase on the support from specialized consultancies, adept at creating the desired design by fully exploiting the ERP's flexibility. Since parameterization does not involve changing or adding any programs, once properly implemented and tested, it does not run into the support and migration issues that plague the coding-based customization approaches that we shall discuss in the next video. Thus, after choosing the ERP package that best supports the desired to-be design, all companies invariably embark in a very important parameterization phase, normally with the help of specialized external consultants. As we shall discuss in the next video, only when the built-in scope for flexibility provided by the parameterization is exhausted will companies consider the option of code adaptation. Thank you for listening. I will see you in the next video.